On? Real Falcon fans, what's up? What's up? Trying to see what qualifies me to be a real Falcon fan. I don't know. Let's talk about it in a minute with your uncle. Hey, what is going on? How are y'all doing out there on a Sunday? Chilling here in Atlanta. Well, you know what? I say chilling. That's not accurate. It's hot in the ATL and surrounding areas. It is definitely burning up out there. If you're like me and you headed out to church today, it's kind of interesting because, you're trying to wear something nice, but at the same time, you can't come up in there with shorts and short sleeve. At some people's church, but at ours you usually don't. But it's hot out there, folks. But you know what? We're gonna keep it cool in here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank y'all for joining us today on a Sunday. Glad to hear everyone out there, and hope everyone's having a great week. If you get a chance to, please subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about it. We're just trying to get this thing rolling. If I'm not mistaken, I think somebody said it was about less than 80 days from the start of the NFL season, which is awesome. I cannot wait. Carolina at the Benz, ready to get that started. And all this off-season stuff that's been inside of me that's been trying to wait. I just let it explode when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons on that particular day. And hopefully we get out to a very good start. Let me talk to the chat real quick. Get everybody in there. Jamal is in the house. What's going on, brother? Thank you for joining us. John Higgins is here. Uncle Steve, what's happening? Happy Sunday to you. What's good, Unc? Rise up from Kentucky. That's got to be my brother James. What's going on? Winston in the house. What's going on? Unc, how you feeling? Todrick's in the house. Hey, how you feeling today, Todrick? Brother David is in here as well. And there's a Berto in the house, 95 North Falcons Talk Show. Y'all make sure y'all get with him on his show. Please get those subscriptions up. He is very close to 1,000 subscribers, and we trying to get them all together. Winston says he thinks it's 73 days. Okay, well, hey, there we go. I can take that. 73 days. So let me start by saying I love doing this. And the one thing that the reason why I started doing this, because I'm a huge Atlanta Falcons fan. I really am. I'm not trying to sit here and tell you how much bigger I am than anybody else as far as Falcon fandom and stuff like that. But I've invested a lot of time in this team. A lot. Since my and these are the memories that I remember from at least 6 years old, going to Fulton County Stadium and checking out the Falcons. I've had a long history of rooting for the red and black. Time doesn't qualify me as the biggest fan. Whether I pay for season tickets, which I happen to, doesn't qualify me as the biggest fan. But I do have an emotional attachment to the team that may not be defined like everyone else's. I'm bringing that up because one of my favorite podcasts out there. One Time for the Fan, and shout out to Jack and the guys over there, and just a great job you all do. Y'all make sure y'all check out One Time for the Fan. And I was watching last week, as I normally do, because they usually pop in on Sundays. And I was watching, and I happened to hear a little bit of dialogue. And this is not one of those, I don't like you type deals. Far from it, because I'm not like that. Like I said, I welcome all opinions about things. And I saw something from one of the people on there. I think her name is Kiki, and great job she does on there with the show. And I couldn't help but to notice she kind of brought up something that I had been discussing in one of my previous videos. And I'm not saying that you happen to watch me or something like that. I'm not going there, even though maybe you have. But it was like an overall rant about what Falcon, kind of like how Falcon fans. Well, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let you listen to it. I'm going to let you listen to it, and then we're going to go from there. This is my friends at One Time for the Falcon. This was last week.
So I just want to say to everybody that's in the chat, let's support our quarterback. Mm-hmm. The man, like on Twitter, the man is getting some unnecessary, and not saying Twitter, not just Twitter, on YouTube too. Some of these creators, they saying things like, well, I don't like Ritter, but he's wearing the logo, so I'm going to just support the team. My thing with that is, I feel like you're straddling the fence a little bit.
So much powdered sugar.
And I say that because it's like, as soon as he messes up, see, I told you, he's not our number one quarterback. But then, if he does do well, then you can say, see, I was supporting the logo. I was supporting him all along. Let's just quarterback, and it's not enough to say that he ain't. So let's just support our quarterback. Let's get to the playoffs. Let's get to the Super Bowl.
So good stuff from Miss Kiki. And again, great job they do. Great job they do over at One Time for the Fan. Again, subscribe. Y'all make sure y'all check them out and stuff like that. So I couldn't help but to pay attention to the part about going for the logo, because your unc has probably been preaching that pretty regularly. In my concern, not dislike, for Desmond Ritter, I have said on several occasions, oh no, but as long as he's wearing the logo, and I've said wearing the logo, wearing the brand, take your pick, I have always stated that I'm a team guy. It doesn't matter who is on the team. Now, Desmond Ritter, it came from your aunt. I don't mind people having different opinions about how to root for the team. That's what this whole blogosphere is for, because people root for teams in a different way. People have different ways of rooting for the Falcons. Mine is not tied to a quarterback, a personality. I know a lot of people always take the LeBron James approach of it. Like, I'm a LeBron fan, so you'll wear Cleveland, Miami, LA. You'll go all the way, which is fine. And that's cool. That's your fandom. But there are so many different ways that you can root for your team. And it doesn't have to be all 1 million minions of Falcon fans thinking the same way. To me, I don't know. I'd rather have my own opinions about things. So I want to know how y'all feel about that. And I'm this is not something where I'm gonna again, this is not a negative towards Miss Kiki and her. That's her opinion. That's beautiful. I'm glad she feels that way. But please, 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 you got to be careful about putting these tags on folks because they might not share your opinion on things. That's where we get messed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw, and I usually don't do this a whole lot. I'm going to throw my my link in the chat, and I'm going to get a few of y'all to if you want to, feel free and come on briefly, and we can discuss this a little bit. So my overall question is, if you're not the biggest fan of one of our players, does that disqualify you from being a quote unquote real Falcons fan? And people define real as whatever, but you know what I mean, like a strong Falcons fan. That's what that amounts to. If you want to discuss, please come in and we'll talk about it a little bit. Let me get down to the chat a little bit more. And John Higgins again, come down, say happy Sunday to everybody. Taja says, do you think the Hawks should trade for Siakam? I'd say that would be a pretty good move if we were able to. Kind of depends on who you give away, though. I'm not trying to give away a lot of. We got some good bench folks on the team for the Hawks. I'm not trying to do that. Travis Wright, what's going on? Travis says, I'm a diehard Atlanta Falcons fan. That's what I'm talking about. I know. And Travis and I are not going to agree all the time. Travis might have a whole different way, a whole different set of people that he might believe are great. And that doesn't mean that he's any less of a Falcon fan. I do these things based on fandom. This is my whole platform to talk about fandom, the reaction of fans. So when I hear someone put things in a little box, that bothers me a little bit. And it might not bother others because they might think like-minded, but I don't know. 95 North says, I'm the self-proclaimed biggest Falcon fan in Providence, Rhode Island, bar none. I believe that. I believe in Rhode Island, you probably are. I got somebody popped in real quick. That's my brother David in the house. What's going on, Dave?
What's going on, Steve, man?
Man, I am just fine, brother. Holla at me, man. I don't know why that stunned to me. Again, it's not even so much. I kind of felt like I'm the only one recently that I've seen, and maybe there are hundreds of creators. So I know I'm the only one recently that kind of goes through that mantra, but tell me what you think. Do you have to be a player fan or a strong player supporter in order to be a Falcons fan? Does that disqualify you if you don't like the player?
Steve, I'm sorry, man, but that's just sheep thing right there to me, man. That's just straight sheep thing. You know what I'm saying? We do not have to like every move that the Falcons make in the front office. We don't have to like every player on the team. But one player is just not the logo. That's not the logo. The logo is an entire entity of an entire entity, not one player. I'm sorry. So I have to sit up here. So you telling me I have to sit up here and support Marcus Mariota while he's sitting up there trying to throw passes from his back?
I mean, it goes back further than Mariota. I have to be in love with Matt Ryan. And I'm not saying that I didn't like Matt, but I'm saying I have to be in love with Matt Ryan in order to keep my fandom. I have to be in love with Jeff George to keep my fandom. I have to be in love with Joey Harrington to keep my fandom. I mean, it doesn't just stop with Desmond Ridder. It goes back. So I'm just saying all fans, do you have to have, oh, I love Ritter, and if I don't love Ritter, then I don't love the Falcons?
No, because I don't have to like this player to love my football team. I don't have, like I said before, I don't have to agree with every front office move to love my football team.
No. You actually don't. You really don't.
Well, you just so anything they do, you just want them. Anything they do, you just want them. Just so we just heard into anything they do.
You're supposed to clap
and not question it at all. And then we sit up here at what 4-12. When we sit up here 4-13, 6-11, 7-10, and things like that, and we're just supposed to say, okay, well, they tried. I'm not that fan, Steve. I want better. I'm sorry. I'm just not that fan. I want better.
I agree with you 100%. This my brother right here, Greg, is in the household. 1 second, stay right there, Greg. Tidy, you can join me on this if you get a chance to, Tidy. I want your quick opinion of this, because I think he knows how I feel, and I think Tidy is one of those folks that we've literally had that conversation before. I'm gonna bring y'all on one or two at a time. I'm gonna bring Greg on real quick. David, I'm gonna bring you back in here later on, brother. Thank you so much for joining me as usual, man. Stay on the chat as usual, brother.
All right.
You the man, bro. Greg, talk to me. Do I need?
What's going on?
How you feeling, brother? First of all, before I get into it, let's get the business out the way, brother. Tell them where you at. Tell them what you do.
Well, I create custom shoes. I'm on Instagram at GQB Custom Kicks. GQB Custom Kicks. I'm on TikTok at GQB Custom Kicks.
And
I got to tell you again, Steve.
I wore your
I loved it, man.
Again. and I think they're upstairs, so my apologies that I'm not able to.
It's all right, man. I love you showing the love.
You know about their sponsor.
Yes, man. Yes. When I see you with them on, I was like, "No, look at Unc, man."
and we're not done.
And they go
in this offline.
Oh yeah, and they go with every jersey you wear, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Every last one of them match up perfectly. So talk to me, Greg.
Exactly.
A couple of people lining in on here. So talk to me about this.
Okay.
Question again. If you're not a biggest fan of one of our players, does that disqualify you from being a real Falcons fan?
I would say no, because regardless of who you draft or who's on the team, the end result is going to be a team win, regardless of who scores what who has the most yards, who has the most touchdowns, is always going to represent the team. And that's just the way it is. That's just how it is, man. To be honest, I don't care if they drop the clear plastic case. As long as it produces wins for the team, that's the key word, team. Football ain't like an individual sport like basketball. Basketball, you can go out there and score 50, 60 points. But you can't, you can win a game with basically one person other than passing the ball in basketball. You cannot do that in a team sport like football. You cannot do it.
So I'm just keeping count, because I and again, this is not a shot to anybody else who has an opinion that I have to love all 53 players 100% and have my back to them 100 going forward. That's not saying, because for the most part, I do feel that way. But I think I just I don't know. This just bothers me. Speaking of bothers me, this is look. This guy here, and again, I keep telling people our relationship started over a disagreement about Devontae Freeman, and
it was man.
It's not.
Boy, he love that Freeman, boy.
My brother loves his Freeman. And first of all, before I even get into this, brothers and sisters, y'all show love to my brother Tidy, Atlanta Bird Game. Please make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel in here. Brother, how you doing, man? Aside of jumping over snakes and all of that, what else been going on in your life?
Outside of dodging snakes, man. I'm cool in this Georgia weather, man. That snake gave me a scare yesterday.
I know it. That was a big boy.
That was a big boy, man. He was moving.
At least the grass was cut low so you could see him.
Yeah. He destroyed our initial meeting because when I happened to look at it, he was up. Like, what you gonna do? You know, I caught him.
Oh man.
Back. So.
Oh man.
That's crazy. So talk to me, my brother. I mean, again, and I'm sorry, I'm not blowing smoke up your behind. I'm just saying, but I know you're somebody that usually is even keel or mind respect folks' opinion about things. This particular one bothers me because I feel like I have to love every player 100%, live, just all the way to the hilt in order to my qualifications as a real fan. And I'm just trying to see what your thoughts are on that.
My thoughts on that is I think a good bit of that mentality to have has came with social media. Some of our fans wrapped up with trying to be the biggest fan on the internet. And that kind of makes them a little over aggressive to people who have a difference of opinion on particular players. And for the Falcons specifically, our fan base, I've noticed that revolve around the quarterback position more than anything else. And I really think that started around the Mike Vick breakup. And then we got remarried to Matt Ryan, you know, for lack of better speaking. And there was a lot of friction between fan bases going back and forth to that.
Yes.
And I think people just kind of married themselves to the ideal of, well, you can't have any indifference of opinion about the quarterback, or you're a fake fan, or you're on the fence, or you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And, you know, you could have been a Falcons fan for the last 55 years, you know, season ticket holder for the last 10, 15, 20 years. But if you're not bending over backwards in support of the quarterback position, you know, they'll start to call you out for that. I think we're seeing that a lot around Ritter. We saw it around Matt Ryan. You know, until Matt Ryan left, people, there were still people in our fan base saying, well, if you get Matt Ryan this, we'll win the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan is elite. And we saw that was not the case. And it's crazy, Steve, because that only pertains to the quarterback position.
Right.
If I come on here and I diss Jalen Mayfield for 2 hours straight, ain't nobody going to say that.
Nobody would care.
Nobody would care. If I come over here and I say, well, it took Caleb McGarry 4 years, you know, to become somebody. Before that, he was trash. He was garbage. Nobody's going to care. It's just that quarterback position is such highlighted within this fan base that people feel some kind of way. And Steve, finishing up, I want to welcome you to the most hated club. Making videos about you, Steve, and talking about you. You made the most hated club. So welcome to the club, brother.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. Greg, I'm gonna let you drop off, Greg, and I'm gonna bring somebody else up here in here. Greg, thank you.
Right.
Custom kicks, y'all.
No problem.
Y'all check them out, okay? All right, thank you, brother. I wanted to point out this right here, Toddy, while we're sitting here. Latoya Jones, how you doing, Latoya? She said, what's wrong with having doubts about a player before the season starts? But showing support as long as they are rocking the logo. As a fan, we love when a player that's been doubted proves us wrong. I'm trying to see, Tidy, what lies? I'm trying to dissect this sentence and see what lies I see in this statement.
Steve, I'm gonna give you the perfect example to drive Latoya's point home. Okay. I'm gonna give you the perfect example, and it's right here at home, Steve. And I'm sure you know where I'm about to go with this.
Yeah, I think I do.
Stetson Bennett.
I did.
This guy was so dotted among Georgia fans and talked about it. And Kirby was questioned. I'm talking about us Georgia fans. Oh, we ain't gonna never win with Stetson Bennett. We better play JT. We better play JT. We better play JT. Now, 2 rings later, Stetson Bennett is a icon, made man, godfather in the state of Georgia. You know, we all love Stetson now.
We love you, Stetson.
We love you, big Stet dog. Let me buy you a case of beer. I know you like to drink. But Steve, there is nothing wrong with somebody proving themselves. There's nothing wrong with that.
What happened to that? That's an old school, philosophy to prove yourself. I think these days too many people are expecting you get dumped in here and we're just supposed to automatically say, you're the guy, you're the man. And that's not the case. That's not it. You got to earn that. You got to prove that. You got to prove it. I'm going to put 2 more up here, and then I'm going to bring somebody in here who might be the more perfect example. You already know who it is. Smart Ride says, the problem is these new Falcon fans born in the 2000s. I'm from the late 80s. Actions speak louder than hope. A quarterback from the AAC conference with average ability. You're going to have to show me. Smart Ride. I don't know. Folks, don't get mad at me. And that's why I wanted to hear from people. I'm trying to, again, I'm pulling out the lie detector. I don't see it, Tiny. What? I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
I don't. And I want to make it clear, because Smart Riders, he's from the 70s. He's from the 80s. I'm from the 70s, and time doesn't make you a better fan. I'm going to clear that up. It doesn't. But we have more history of dealing with these supposed to be the guys. Chris Miller had one great year in 1991, but we drafted him like he was going to be the next coming. Yep. When Jeff George came here, Tidy, the whole well, I can't say the whole fan base, but a lot of the fan base said, Jeff George, he's throwing all the yards around. He'll be here forever. And Jeff George wasn't even the one that really qualified us for the playoffs. That was Bobby A. Bear at the end of the year. So it is. So I'm just a little frustrated with that part. Right. One more before we bring in our yin to the yang. Lyrics Mom, how you doing, Lyrics Moms? Hey, I don't expect everyone to agree with me, but I just don't like the unwarranted hate that a certain player gets. It was just a rant because I get annoyed with it, and the kids that play for Mars, and that's the one who was talking to me. So here's the problem. See, this is where you gotta kind of be careful. When you say I don't like the unwarranted hate, social media is sometimes the devil, y'all. And when you say hate, there is no hate in me. Matter of fact, Toddy, when have in all of my concern about Desmond Ridder, have you ever said I didn't like? Ever heard me say I didn't like?
No.
Ever.
Nope.
Ever said I have always said I would have liked to have an upgraded version. I would have liked to have somebody else. But you got to remember, you can't put everybody in the same box. That's not fair. It's not fair to put all the fans in the same box. You can't do that. And as far as the hate is concerned, it's social media, man. If you're on Twitter, 40% of the people saying stuff are saying it because they're not in your face. So they just spouting out hate and whatever. Somebody who I know, if he had an active Twitter, would probably be defending himself every day of the week and all day, is this brother right here in the IKEA chair sitting right next to us. I don't know what he did with his TV, but I know it's somewhere behind him. But where is the TV, Mr. Harris?
TV right in front of you.
That's
you don't want to see what I got on, so I'm just leave that lane. Just leave that lane.
Yeah, look.
Enough said.
Look.
Good afternoon.
How did this show all of a sudden get R-rated?
It did. That's you. That's you. That's you.
So let me explain to y'all a little bit about John, and I'm sure Tidy can amen the point I'm gonna make. John to me is a very unique fan. John is someone who has never, ever, ever been afraid to give his opinion about the Atlanta Falcons. And never, even if it went against the norm. But I'm going to tell y'all something. Contrary to what some of y'all believe, this cat ride or die more than 90% of y'all out there. Yeah. Seen it, heard it, lived it. So when I see you, John, tell me, what do you think about the statement I just made? If you are not the biggest fan of one of our players, let's say, for instance, Matt Ryan, your favorite, does that disqualify you from being a real Falcons fan?
Me having this time on this job for so long, then clocked in, clocked out, did overtime on it, worked my off day, didn't get paid for it, bought all the merchandise, got bobbleheads that I aim at and bobbleheads that I show off. All of that type of stuff there. The team to me is a composite. Pieces are put in, pieces are taken out. People come in, people come, people go. Coaches come, coaches go. It's the Atlanta Falcons. And if I ever said anything about anybody, I backed it up with videotape, with talk, with whatever it is that I need to do to get my point across about that person. And this king making, I'm going to say that person come on the field. Oh, he's the new king. All hail the king. All rise up and hold up, bruh. I'm just like them Klingons. This man has fought no battles. He has no nothing. He doesn't bring anything to the table. And you know what my favorite motto? You know what my motto is, Steve?
What's
Get
that?
it off the paper and put it on the field.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
That's the only...
Before you go into your Star Wars analogy again, let me let my brother Travis stick in here. What's up, Travis? How you doing, brother? I know that John gonna stay with us, but sometime when he get into his Star Trek stuff, you ain't gonna be able to stop him. So, Travis, before you let's go back to the question, Travis. Let's go back to the original question. The question is, if you are not the biggest fan of one of our players, does this disqualify you from being a real Falcons fan? Travis, the floor is yours.
You trying to pull the Desbians and the Ryan Knights out the woods, ain't you?
And the crazy thing is, Travis, I'm really not. But I am making a point. Go ahead. I hear you, but I am making a point. Go ahead.
This question is tailor-made for them. This question has been them since 2016. Really, you could probably go back to 2012. And like Titus said, it's all about that QB position. I've seen them trash every offensive lineman, probably not named Jake Matthews, and Jake has gotten some of it.
Right.
Trashed every defensive player. But when it comes to that QB, if you don't even like that QB, the first thing I hear, you might well go be a Saints fan. You might well go be a Panthers fan. You're a Falcons fan. Right. I'm like, dude, how you gonna sit here and trash Grady Jarrett, but tell me I'm fake because I say Matt Ryan threw a ball too high, or I say Matt Ryan took too long to make that throw, and that's why he got sacked. it kills me. And now even with Desmond, it's even worse because this man played 4 games. He played, and they are crucifying you if you said that the man, we need to bring in quarterback competition. And I'm just like, why? I don't have to be the biggest fan of one single player to like my whole team. It's the Falcons. You support the logo. I don't have to be the biggest Jalen Mayfield, Grady Jarrett, Lorenzo Carter, whoever. I don't have to be their biggest fan for me to be a real Falcons fan. And they kill me talking about you're not a real Falcons fan. Tell me your definition of a real Falcons fan. Because when I ask them that, then that's when, because you don't like so. See, it's never about the team for the Desrians and the Ryan. It's about that one player, that quarterback. He's gonna get all the glory, but if he mess up, he's not gonna get any of the blame. And that's just the bottom line of it.
Travis.
And Travis said something real key.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No. You good. You good.
Like, guys, let's be honest. I mean, we're 4 gentlemen here. Let's be honest. We root for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, speaking of fake fans, let me restate this now.
Okay.
We root for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes.
Who in their right mind would spend January through August being emotionally attached to the Falcons if you were fake? When you run off to the Chiefs bandwagon or maybe the Eagles bandwagon, or maybe you could catch some of that magic from the old Pats bandwagon. But the Falcons don't have no fake. When you see guys here in April, May, and June talking Falcons football,
but I'm fake.
Yeah,
but see, this is the thing, Toddy. Echoing what you're saying, these people act like we done won 11 Super Bowls in a row, got a trophy case full of trophies and rings, got 11 fingers worth of rings and all that. Man, look at here. That's why I say I clock in and I clock out and I'm doing overtime and I'm not getting paid for doing this job here. Right. I mean, look, we gluttons for punishment. We love to get whooped on. Come on, man.
I hear, and even going to both of you guys' point, there is nothing in this franchise's history, and this is not me poo-pooing it, and this is not me being negative nanny or nothing like that. There is nothing in the franchise's history that's gonna make me come on here year after year after year, especially the last 5, if I don't love this team.
Right.
Damn thing.
Heidi has been on way more than I have, but he keeps coming back. John Harris has bought several chairs and several 10-inch TVs, but he still comes back. Winston changed cars, turns on his air conditioner so we can't hear, and he keeps coming back. Travis has been rocking with me for a long time, even in the losing, and still come back. And some people have the nerve to say that we're not real fans. That's what bothers me. Welcome to our brother Winston. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
All right, brother. I'm gonna let you answer the question on here. And Travis, I'm gonna bring you down so I can bring somebody up in here. Travis, I appreciate. Please stay in the chat.
Thank you, guys.
Brother. Appreciate you, man. Talk to me, brother Winston. So the question is, so just in case, but before I go any further, thank you to everybody in the chat. I know this is a little different than normal. Miss B, Lisa, I see who is this? I saw Ray Ellison. What's going on? Brother Ricky in the house. What's going on, Ricky? Good to see y'all, man. Big Low Country. Low, come get some of this. This is what bothers me. And I thank Lyrics Kiki for coming in here, because I appreciate her at least trying to come in and understand this is not about, I don't like you, you don't like me. It's not at all. I don't rock like that. But it is something to talk about when you start talking about the types of fans. Armani, get your butt in here. Get on that link. I just put it in there. Go ahead, Winston. If you are not the biggest fan of one of our players, like you are of Felipe Franks, does that disqualify you from being a real Falcons fan?
Why you doing that, man? Like,
Hey, look. To me, that's an asinine statement. Cause like you gotta understand it. All right, we have at this moment we have 90 people on the roster. You're not gonna like all 90 of those people, and then it's gonna get cut down to 60 something. Then it's gonna get cut down to 53. You're not gonna like put it like that. If when you go to work, you don't like everybody you work with.
Yeah.
But the job still get done. It's the same thing with a football team. You're not gonna like everyone on that team, but as long as the job get done, that's what it is. I am a fan of the logo. I'm a fan of the team, not players. There are certain players that I like more than others, true, but I mean, just because I'm not a big fan of Matt Hennessy or Felipe Frank, that doesn't mean I don't like the Falcons. I'm a diehard Falcons fan, all the way in Virginia. Like that makes no sense. You know, I mean, you don't have to like everybody that's on that team.
You don't. You absolutely don't.
Yeah, think about it.
You don't. Go ahead.
There's no player. There's no player on. There's no player on that team that's going to be on that team 2-3 decades from now.
Right.
So why do I have to like a certain player right now?
I'm gonna address first. Hey, Christy, how you doing? Thank you for joining us, Christy. She's always in there. WGC is in the house. I've been putting I'm putting the comments up, y'all. I know normally we read everyone, but I'm putting them up in here. But I have a thought from one of our regular folks, Lisa Shepard. We all know and love her. I have seen some Falcons fans diss the team in front of Aints. I have no idea who raised them. We are not the same. Now, again, she's right. There are some trolly type Falcon fans. We know them. We've seen them before. There are some that do that. But for the most part, y'all, that's less than 10%. And you know what it is? It's probably the same person over and 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 over again that makes you feel like they are. But Tidy, when you start talking about those type of fans, I think it's unfair to include them in the list of having different opinions. Those are people that just are trying to be fire starters.
Yeah. They're getting a reaction out of people, like you said. On the internet, we call them trolls, and you know we all know who they are. And no matter what fan base you have, who just won the Super Bowl? The Chiefs.
Yes,
I guarantee you they got 3, 4, 5 trolls in their fan base.
You know,
well Patrick Mahomes overrated. You know, he's want to get a reaction, want some attention.
But
that makes no sense.
Even when the Patriots were winning, okay, back to back appearances in the Super Bowl or whatever, if you tune in to Patriots radio, there were people that wanted the coach fired. Okay,
they still want him fired.
They wanted the coach fired. Now that's
yeah, they still want to fire.
Yeah, they got reason now. Okay, but yeah, but I mean versus the championship years, and I mean look. And I've said this, and I know Steve, you said it, I know Tidy, you said it, and Winston, you know it. Man, if we were up north, if the Falcons were in New York, in Ohio, in Boston, man, they'd be roasting these folk alive for just the littlest doggone thing, you know. So we soft down. We just okay. If you're not with us, if you're not ride or die, you're not no Falcons fan. Well, we just lost 56-0. But you still not supposed to say nothing bad about nobody on the team because that's your team, man. Y'all done lost y'all rabid mind.
You're right, John. And the echo on to what John is saying about different markets. I'm telling y'all, some of those markets John just named, I'll include Philadelphia. They would have Arthur Smith on the hot seat going to this year, and we're being kind of passive.
Yep.
But you go into some of those markets, be coaching the Giants or the Jets or the Eagles. Buddy, if you don't win, you got to get out of here by week 14. You know, and we're just okay. Well, salary cap. Some teams some markets they don't care about all that. You know,
right. It's some people that don't like the fact that they re-signed Daniel Jones, and he just went to the playoffs this year with the Giants. There are people that are seriously upset that they re-signed him. So
gave him all that money.
It gave him all that money. Again, money that eventually every second, if you, and I'm gonna put it real quick, if you are a second-term quarterback and you had a little success, you're gonna get paid. Yeah. I think a lot of people need to get out of the $30 million sport. Yes, $40 million. Yes, it's 2023. Matt Ryan did the same thing in 2020. $30 million. Yes, that's what the going rate is. Winston, I'm gonna put this question up here for you. Hey. Andrew comes out and says, I feel like everybody should like Bijan Robinson. He'll be the most important player on the team next season. Will be the best offensive player. And the reason why I'm bringing this statement out is to tell Andrew, you might get a majority that think that. But guess what? You're going to have a lot of people that still think you should have got Jalen Carter instead of Bijan. So you might not have – I hear what you're saying that people should like him, but whether they like him or not, that's not going to define the fandom of somebody who roots for the Falcons. Winston, what you think about that?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm a huge Bijan fan, but Bijan's not gonna be the most important player on the team on offense this year. It's either gonna be Ritter or it's gonna be Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts being able to stretch the field and open up running lanes for Bijan and Tyler Algier and CP is those two. Ritter has to show up.
Yeah, I mean, along with everybody else. But again, and folks, it's polarizing more on Ritter because Ritter is the quarterback. I'm sorry. It's nobody
most
cares
important position in North America sport.
And then most important, nobody cares whether Matthew Bergeron is going to play at an A+ level. No one cares if Richie Grant rebounds and becomes an all-pro safety. Nobody cares if what's my boy name? Jeff Okudah has a comeback year at cornerback. But let Ritter come out and start the year 1-3, no matter what the rest of the team does. The narrative is different, folks. It's a different level.
For his head.
Even in a team game, folks, it's a different narrative. It is. Let me run in here right quick. One time for the fan. Oh, 1 second. Winston, I'm going to jump these folks in here because one time
go.
Started, my brother Jack Spade in the house. Appreciate you, brother. Always giving y'all a shout out. I'm always watching y'all too. Don't ever. This is probably why this whole thing started. And again, it's not it wasn't a pick on. I hope you go back and watch the show and truly see what we had, what we were talking about. But again, we're talking about fandom in here. Terrence Jones, what's going on, brother? Good to see you in the house. Let me get a couple of comments, y'all, and then we're gonna get in here. Ray says the so-called fake fans are frustrated fans. People think because you are critical about a player or players or even the team, you're not loyal. That's true. Great Francis Washington.
Exactly.
Yep. Hey, fellas, I was not the biggest fan of Matt Ryan. John, I was not the biggest fan of Matt Ryan, but I love my Falcons, which he was a part of. I'm gonna tell y'all what. When John, just to show you how long, John and I used to have absolute throwdown. Now, this is when Matt was winning 5 years in a row. This wasn't Matt in 2019, 20, or whatever. But when Matt was on the come up, John would straight up tell me, this dude is, well, I wouldn't say well,
tell him right now. Tell him right.
Hey, don't misquote
he was disposable garbage.
Yeah, man, don't do that.
And I was and so, you know, the thing that bothered me about the Matt Ryan criticism, and again, fair, because Tidy, Winston, we have never gone through a stretch like that. From 08 to 12, we don't know what that's like as a Falcon fan to win 5 years in a row. Unfortunately, we given it back with these 5 losing years in a row. We won 5 years in a row. Think about the people who are complaining the year we lost to the Giants, the year that Green Bay boat rushed us here in the Dome and all that. Think about how much we would love for those days to come back, because at least we were playing relative ball. You know what I mean?
The year we lost to San Francisco.
Oh, absolutely.
On the no call pass interference.
Yeah. And see, something else too. See, a lot of people's expectations have lowered. Either the expectations have lowered and their standards have lowered, or they came in, okay, from worse franchises than us. Okay. And plus, I got to throw in the participation trophy people. Just cause you showed up. Oh, here's this nice gold memento of you showing up in the 2022 season. I'm so glad you came today and had perfect attendance and ain't did nothing when you got here. Now, See, I got to go back to when, you know, the Super Bowl was run by the NFC. You remember it was either Dallas or the 49ers with a little Giants sprinkled in or whatever, but the AFC had no chance in hell. The Super Bowl was really the NFC Championship game, because it was just about a certain guarantee that if you won the NFC Championship game, you were going to get a Super Bowl trophy, because they didn't have nothing over there in the AFC. And we were trying to get into that. Now, we breached it in 98, but didn't seal the deal. And we thought in 98 that we were going to go. We thought we were going to go back the next year. Man, and had to wait until 16 just to get there.
Jamal, was that the year Jamal, what did he do? ACL? Like in
1,800 yards?
Yeah, no.
The year after.
The year after he tore his knee up. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
was it? Yeah, his knee. He tore his knee up.
Yeah.
Was that game 1 or 2? It was against the Giants, but I can't remember which game it was. But he tore his knee up. Was it the Giants or Dallas?
I thought it was Dallas.
Might have been Dallas. No, you might be right. It was against.
I thought it was Dallas. But yeah, you all
right. So I mean, that's where we coming from, folks. I just love. I just want everybody to realize, and these 4 brothers right here, and it's ironic, and that's kind of why I kept them in place, because these guys right here are very smart, opinionated, but bigger than that, 3 of the biggest fans that I know. If I'm talking Falcons, I will message one of them and talk about something, whether it has something to do with the team. Tidy all day with that golden all-pro uniform of Devontae Freeman that I will burn if I see. But at least he knows he is diehard Falcon no matter what. John, who holds the flag for Matt Ryan all day, all night. He will, well, okay, maybe not. But he is an all-time Falcon fan. Winston will come over here and argue with me about Ogundeji making the team as a backup. We went back and forth about 10 minutes about that. But you know why I can do that with him? Because I know at the end of the day, he's a fan. Now, let me ask y'all a question since y'all on here. And I see you one time for the fan. You're absolutely right. Says time for one time in the fan at Uncle Steve's Lounge to have a podcast. The fans want it, bro. Tidy he shouts out Tidy as well, man. Absolutely.
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother, we gonna do it. We got to get this time hooked up. I had a little. My son went to college this weekend, so started his little summer thing. So maybe that. Yeah, man. We trying to. He's trying to get into this this thing from the background scene of sports. He's trying to get into some sports management. So he's up there, and congratulations to my boy. Love him to death if you watching. You the man. You the man. Love you, boy. Love you. But let me ask y'all a question for real. Okay, and I haven't had a chance to talk to y'all in a while, the three of y'all. So we went through OTAs, and I had a chance to go out there and everything. And I love what I see from the defense and everything like that. What on week 8, what would you need to see from Desmond Ridder to know that you don't have to go back into the pot in 2024 for a quarterback? And it doesn't have to be certain yards or certain things like that. What do you need to see from Desmond Ridder to know that he is the guy going forward? I'm going to start with Tidy, and I'm going to swing around with John and Winston.
I would just have to see the progression, of course, the leadership, and from an eye test standpoint, I would just have to see the things that I would want in my quarterback. You know, does he have the arm talent? Is he making the right decisions? Is he a intricate part of this team winning? You know, if we're at week 8 and we are 2-6, 3-5, Desmond Ridder's playing okay, I know we need to go finally draft the quarterback at that point. But if week 8 we're 6-2, 5-3, Ridder has looked the part for a good bit of at least 80% of the seasons. You know, he's hitting his receivers in stride. He's making the right audibles. He's doing the thing that he needs to do. And he has shown me that he has got considerable better in year 2. Then yeah, keep going. Look, that's gonna be our guy. But it has to show on the field. Yeah. And it has to be clear and apparent. Now, if we get to year 2 and it looks like he's in a sophomore slump, the team they're playing around 500 ball, then at that point, Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith and Arthur Blank and Rich McKay, they need to have a heart-to-heart conversation behind closed doors and figure out what the next move will be.
That's fair. Everything is fair. I didn't hear, and when people just listening to you say that, there's nothing in there. I didn't hear the words, I don't like Ridder. I didn't hear the words, I can't stand his move. I don't like his mechanics or nothing like that. I think it's just a matter of, I won't say poison, but I'm saying, triggered Falcon fans who are used to going to another quarterback outside of the Matt Ryan era, time and time again, we just have apprehension. We just a little apprehensive about what he's going to do. John, go ahead and pick it up from there.
Well, realizing that Desmond Ridder is run over by the 8 ball, and the 8 ball got him pegged up against the back of the wall from his first year. I'm kind of like what Tidy is saying. I'm kind of where Tidy is. 8 games to me isn't enough, but at that 8-game threshold, I would have to see improvement from what I saw in the 4-game threshold that he had last year. Like he said, hitting receivers in stride, anticipating throws and making throws on time, not staring at receivers. And, a lot of that's going to count going to depend heavily upon what Arthur Smith has for him. That's really the thing that I'm concerned about. And I saw what Matt Ryan did in year 1, and I saw the offense change in year 2. So I know that he is versatile, that Arthur Smith can be versatile and flexible. Just want to see what type of package he has for Desmond Ridder in order for Desmond Ridder to show what he can do.
Mm-hmm. Winston, what you think about?
Most importantly, I want to see progression and consistency. We got to look at it like we've had 3 quarterbacks in 3 seasons. You're not gonna get far like that. You know how a offense or a defensive line becomes great? Cohesion and consistency. A quarterback becomes great by consistency. 8 games is more than enough for you to know. I've seen enough of him that I like what I see, and I'm a bet on his potential. Or is 8 games enough where this ain't it? We have pieces in place, and this part is holding us back. So Ridder had to grow up. And can't nobody make him grow up and become what his ceiling or take those next steps. He had to do that on his own.
Right.
And it's how bad he wants. Because at the end of the day, your quarterback is tied to your coach, your head coach. That head coach, Arthur Smith, had 3 quarterbacks in 3 seasons, going on to 3rd quarterback in his 4th season. I mean, 3rd quarterback in the 3rd season. Like, that's going to be an issue if Ridder does not perform.
Yeah.
So when the big balls come down and be like, hey man, like, look, y'all did your thing with the cap, but that was Terry Fontenot. You done got the players in here, but you're still losing. What like, is it you or what's going on? You can't sit there keep throwing it off on everybody else. So Ridder has to perform. And if Ridder 8 games is enough. 8 games is enough to see he finally learning to scan the field, read the field. All the bad plays to put people in better plays. Making those throws, making those clutch throws. Like, 8 games is enough to show you, well, he got potential. We can do something with it. We can mold this.
And a lot of people don't understand that part. It's very unfair. It's very unfair for us to, like, put that. Well, hold on. It's fair for people to have an opinion about his, year 1 to year 2. I've heard folks already say he's the best quarterback in the NFC South. He's gonna be the most improved player in the NFL. He's gonna be the next Jalen Hurts. I've heard all of it. And if you're thinking that I don't want him to be that, you're foolish. Of course I want him to succeed. But I also am not even leaving. I have this thought in my mind, what have I seen from him aside of Cincinnati? And somebody pointed out AAC conference. What have I seen? I haven't seen a lot. I want to go back to something real quick because unfortunately I have to shorten up a little bit this week, but I wanted to get y'all opinion about last week's show and last week's topic. And this is what the fire starter part was. It was, the Desmond Ridder, do you have faith in him or do you support him as a Falcons quarterback? And what I was real keen about doing was defining what both of these are. I'm going to take this off the ticker and put it on the screen. Okay, faith. The definition of faith is something that you believe to be true and trustworthy. Firm belief in something for which there is no proof. Support means to agree with and give encouragement to someone or something. So I take this to y'all, and I'm gonna swing it back around the other way, Winston. From the definition that we have here, and I'm hoping y'all are clear with it. Do you have faith in him, or do you support him as the Falcon? And you can have both. You can actually have both. But I'm gonna self-answer for me right now. I have support for him as the Falcons quarterback, which means I'm gonna be encouraging. I'm not gonna sit out there in the stands and throw pop, even though that would be a long throw, but throw something at him in the fan out there. If I have, so
you won't even let me talk to the referees, man.
You know what? I know I've told that story, and I'm gonna have another day where me and you gonna sit because John was about to get thrown out
again.
I'm telling you, bro. They scared, man. All right. Well, since you talking, answer the question first while Winston thinking. Do you have faith in Desmond Ridder, or do you support him as the Falcons quarterback? And that's according to the definitions we just gave.
Okay, now I have support. Let me start off saying I have support in Ridder. Now, if I take this remote control and I let go of it, it's going to hit the floor.
Right.
So if someone asks me what is going to happen with that remote control if I let it go, what can I reasonably assume and say that's going to happen with that remote control? Because it has happened so many times before with so many other objects and so many other things. Faith is the assured expectation of things hoped for, the evident demonstration of realities, though not beheld. You know this because this has happened so many times. Desmond Ridder hasn't had so many times as a quarterback in order for me to have faith in him being able to do anything. Same thing with our first round draft pick. So I have support for them. And it goes back to your initial gambit when you first started about, are you just saying that you supporting this person, or you going for this person just because they wear the logo? Right. And that's where I am. He wears the logo. I'm behind him 100% because he got the logo on. But I don't know what this man gonna do.
I don't even know. I feel like clapping. That was just excellent. I don't even know what to do. I think we're gonna do
your hands ain't even touching.
In the chat, what we gonna do if everybody can give $1, we're gonna get that TV back on the back of that wall. If y'all so for that, we gonna get that TV back because I feel it's naked back there, man. Now we trying to prove that you got a TV. We all remember.
He had the same TV Bin Laden had in that bunker.
Hey. That's the same one that was in that doggone submarine.
Oh, Dad, stop. Winston, go ahead.
Boy, I tell you.
Going back to it.
I'm trying to get you kicked off YouTube.
I know, man. Say that for the John Harris hour. Desmond Ridder, do you have faith in him, or do you support him as the Falcons QB? Go ahead, Winston.
I support him. He is a player on my team's roster. He's supposed to be QB number 1. I support him. But if you look at that definition of faith, it says something that haven't been proven. There's only one thing I blindly believe in that I have not seen, and that's based on my religious preference.
Yeah.
But if you go do the research for him, The man had one D1 offer. That was Cincinnati. Through what, 28 interceptions in his college career. He was a 4-year starter in college. If you really like that as a quarterback, you're not staying in college for 4 years. Like, that doesn't happen. No, that just doesn't happen. And then I suppose just blindly accept it because to be honest, we have lack of a better option. Don't get me wrong, I wanted Lamar, but when I really sat and thought about it, they did the right thing to go build a team. They went and bought a defense because our defense has been horrible since 2017.
I agree.
Like, if we get to league average in sacks, that is a monumental milestone for the Falcons.
Yeah, sadly.
So we had to go that route. Yeah, sadly. Like, you gotta think about it. League average in sacks is 40 sacks. 40 sacks. Last year we had 21, and the year before that we had what, 18? Like, so we had to go spend the money on the defense. But just because we were thrust in this position with him as QB1, that doesn't mean that I think that he's just gonna go light up the world and shock the world like Pat Mahomes. Like, no, that's dead. Go show me that you can do that. Once you start showing me consistently, hey, I can go get you 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. Matt Ryan was never gonna light it up. He lighted up every once in a while, but you know what made him? I ain't gonna say he was elite, but a top tier quarterback. He was consistent. Matt Ryan he had a record for most consistent consecutive 200-yard games.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Any game you go in mad at quarterback, you know he's gonna give you at least 200 yards, about 2 touchdowns. I know what I got from him. I can go ahead and pencil that in before the game starts. I know what I'm gonna get from him. I don't know what I'm gonna get from Ritter, so therefore I cannot have faith in him. I support him because he's wearing the brand.
Again, I detect no lies in this. I don't know. I haven't set out here to change anybody's mind and make you think in a certain way. But my purpose of bringing this up before you answer the question was just to tell people that it's okay to support instead of having, and I should have said blind faith, which faith is blind, but
not necessarily.
I won't. Well, this is true. Not necessarily. This is true. But it's okay to have support without pulling out pom-poms for the individual. So that's kind of my biggest overall overarching point. But take us home on this question, Ty.
Yeah. As far as the faith and the support goes, Ritter has my support 5,000%. Yeah. Everybody on that Falcons team, from the QB1 down to the guy that probably gonna get cut in August, has my support. That's right. Bartman has my support. Art Smith has my support. The Water Boys, who I don't even know, who fill up the Gatorade, they got my support. Give my players the best Gatorade that we can find in Georgia. Everybody that works at Flowery Branch has my support. Even the social media guy or girl has my support. Now, faith, that's different. Faith, I'm going to be honest, and some people may take this the wrong way. But being honest, there's only a few Falcons players as of today that I have faith gonna come out there and whoop some you-know-what every Sunday. I know every Sunday, Chris Lindstrom, he gonna come out and he gonna beat some people up. Yes, I got faith in that. He has a proven track record that he's just gonna come out there and kick some you-know-what. Yep. I got faith that's gonna happen. Yep. I got faith Grady Jarrett go come out there and do some bad things to the people that's lined up in front of him. I got faith in that.
Preach, brother.
Now, once you get past those two, it becomes a little shaky. I'm just being honest, Steve.
Now, can I add one more person?
Go ahead.
Young Way.
Young Way, cool.
Oh,
Y'all
oh,
gotta
Young
get him
Way.
out the strip club now, because he was a little. They took my kickers to the strip club. I got some intel to say, hey, man, I got your kicker in here. He's throwing up 5s and 10s and 20s. You better come get your dog. But yeah. But I think what happens is people they sometimes misconstrue hope and faith. Like when I hear people tell me a lot of times, man, Ritter gonna be the guy. Just waiting to see Ritter go. You're hoping that he becomes the guy.
Absolutely.
Art Smith gonna be watch Art Smith, man. I'm telling you, we're hoping so. So far, Art Smith has a losing record in 2 years. You know, the same thing with our superhero Bijan. Man, watch what Bijan do. Well, boy, I'm telling you, we hope so. We hope so. So support, hope, and faith. And Steve, I'm just gonna finish this out real quick. What we're talking about today, I think, really comes from fans of, and I hate to bring up 28-3, but fans of a team who have not had a win a season in 5 years.
Yeah.
Fans of a team who has only had a win a season 2 times out of the last 10 years. So what happens is a lot of skepticism and fans being skittish. You know, that plays a part in it. And I'm going to bring up the Bulldogs again because I'm a fan of the Bulldogs and the Falcons. Before Georgia won national championships, y'all, I promise y'all, this same stuff is going on in the Georgia Bulldogs fan base. They were winning 9, 10, 11 games a year.
Yes.
But the expectation was, no, we got to win the championship. Florida done won a bunch. Florida done won a couple. Bama done won a couple. Tennessee done got some. Auburn done won one. We don't want nothing but a championship. We don't care about winning 10 games.
Yep.
So the Bulldogs fans before these 2 championships, it was the same conversations, the same thing. And when Kirby and Stetson and company brought those 2 championships home, now those conversations don't exist in this fan base anymore. Like, for example, you could come tell me, hey, man, y'all going to have an alien from the planet Mars come play quarterback for y'all this year. All right, cool. You know, what's the name? All right, let's run with it. They've gained that confidence with the fan base. We can go back to the Braves. When the Braves won the World Series in 2021, people will buy in.
It's true.
And even though we lost in the playoffs the following year, you didn't hear people having a fit about it because you had won the ultimate prize.
Winning equity.
Winning equity, perfectly stated. So now you if you check in with a Hawks fan base, they just like Falcons fans. You know why? They're not winning.
Yes.
And that's not a Falcons issue. That's not an Atlanta Hawks issue. You go to any professional team whose team is losing way more than they're winning, you're gonna have the same kind of conversations. And I'll land my plane.
This is why I grab the folks I get, y'all. This is why I know who to go for, and I know who to talk about these things. Again, there is nothing in this conversation that was said about we don't trust Desmond Ridder as our quarterback. We don't like Desmond Ridder as our quarterback, or we don't think he can win. I think these are fair points, and I loved where you landed with talking about the equity, the winning equity. The University of Georgia, even with that 1980 championship, which most of the fans around here weren't born back then, you still had to go back and get those fans back. So now, oh my goodness, big, bold, brash, loud,
confident.
They can get it. The Atlanta Braves, 25 years ago, same thing. Some folks were too little to remember back in 95 when they won the championship. Now, to your point, we missed the first round. We'll be back. You know why? Because they had just won the bad boy last year. Right. So for the Falcons and the Hawks, until we get that on a not even consistent basis, until we get it, you have to expect there to be a little bit of apprehension about the future of the team. Go ahead, John.
And see, the thing about the Falcons over the Hawks and the Braves, The Falcons are the homegrown product here. They didn't move here from someplace else.
That's true.
Falcons
that's true.
started
Good
here.
point. That's a good point.
That's true. That's a
Falcons
great point.
started here.
Good point.
Now, and since football is, I'm gonna go out on a limb. So football is the #1 sport in the country, you know,
Especially Southeast.
and we have a homegrown product here. The first championship will be our first championship. It will be the Falcons' first championship of a homegrown franchise in this city, in this region. And see, oh boy.
I'll put something else on what you just said, John, when you talking about the championships and what Tidy was saying. The Atlanta United won the championship in 2017. Was there really a change in the fan in Atlanta? Was there really? This was prior to the Bulldogs.
No.
This was prior to the Braves. Was there really
Not really.
buzz? This is not saying wouldn't support my brothers out there on the pitch. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's different.
Yeah.
Baseball, as great as it was for the Braves to win that, would pale in comparison to the Falcons winning the Super Bowl and walking down Peachtree. It wouldn't even be close, folks.
Steve, let me add on to that.
What do you say, Tony?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Steve.
No, you're good.
Let me just add on to your point when you say the Braves. As I tell y'all all the time, I went to that parade, and I'm gonna tell you, with most people I came across, wait till the Falcons win, man. Wait, that's all you heard. Wait till the Falcons win. That's all people was at a Braves parade.
That zipped through Atlanta and ran up to Marietta. But
now something else too. In 1998, when hell froze over and they came back here with the NFC Championship trophy.
Yeah, back in the day when they used to let people at the airport. I remember that day because I was kind of juggling both airport and Delta at the time. Man, I was about to go back to work because I wanted to see them cats get off the plane. They had won the NFC Championship, something we hadn't done something we had never done.
Yeah.
So if the NFC Championship, and I fast forward to 2016, 17 in January, winning that Green Bay game, you can argue from a fan hysteria standpoint, just about as strong as that Braves championship. I know it's not the total. Ask the fans.
You're right.
Tell me I'm not lying.
You're not lying. The electricity and the chemistry was better, if I'm being honest.
The fan base and the fan interaction, oh my God. It was a whole different thing. But I digress. Folks, I plan on being on the hour, but when you got these minds right here, you gotta let these cats roll and talk their talk. Winston, tell everybody where you're at and where they can see you online on Twitter and we hoping to see some stuff from you soon on YouTube.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, okay. Well, we need you to work harder, man, because I'm getting tired of hearing the outside of your car. Because every time I want to see you.
I'm sitting there waiting on the old lady. She was going to kick it with her girl and stuff. So I was sitting there waiting on that.
Oh no, you gotta do what you gotta do, brother. Tell everybody where you at on Twitter and everything and what you doing.
Well, I'm not on Twitter. Okay. Well, I be on it, but I don't really be on it like that. You can catch me on Facebook. Catch me in Atlanta Bird Game. I'll be in there all day, every day. And catch me on all these numerous YouTube channels and stuff. And hopefully I have my channel up and running very soon. So God willing.
And I'm sure all the brothers here will not only support that, but we're gonna make sure that everybody else supports that. Brother, you got a wealth of knowledge and everything, and we appreciate you always adding to these panels and to the discussions, and to your point in Atlanta Bird game where you add those points, and we appreciate you, man. John, we know you've been going on the I'm Retired tour and terrorizing folks from all parts of the United States. So tell everybody where they can find you. Aside of IKEA, looking for that furniture, where can they find you?
They can't.
I
don't run. I pop up and show up when I'm in fight. Y'all, hey.
John had to play in walk mode.
I'm kind of shy and really don't like to talk much about too much stuff.
Right. I'm gonna tell anybody on here, if you haven't experienced anything else, I need y'all to experience watching the game with this brother right here, because it's almost like it. Turn the TV down, and this brother right here is more entertaining than anything y'all see on TV, and I mean that. I mean that. My brother Tidy in the house, Atlanta Bird Game, YouTube. Please make sure y'all check it out. I know y'all already doing it anyway, but Tidy, tell them what you got up and what's going on with you.
Well, as you mentioned, you can check me out on Atlanta Bird Gang on YouTube. Also, as y'all gentlemen has already mentioned, all four of us are in the Atlanta Bird Gang Facebook group. That's where we go in there and just kick up a lot of records in all season. Especially John and his Matt Ryan rant. So.
Professional pot stirrer.
Yeah. And also we're on Instagram and Atlanta Bird Gang. Been kind of and did a lot of posting on there, but we're gonna kick it back off. So any support is appreciated. And Steve, thank you for bringing me on today as always.
Been a minute, man. It's been a second. I was saying to myself, I was concerned about you when I saw you hopping snakes yesterday. So I said, let me bring my boy out here.
Yeah, man. Shoot, I thought it was Adam and Eve all over.
Hey, again, when I saw that bad boy, man, I was like, that's a long shoot.
It's a big boy, man.
What's going through the yard?
Hey, man.
Hey, if they'd have had me on camera when I first seen it, I'd be playing for the Falcons tomorrow.
Now, was it on the sidewalk first?
It was I was on the sidewalk jogging. It was right to the right in the grass, just in the cut, posted, looking at me. So it was probably about 8 inches away from the sidewalk that I was jogging on. And you know how sometimes your peripheral just happen to catch something?
Right.
Yeah. Right. Oh,
my God. Oh.
Well, brother, we happy you survived. Well, everybody out here, y'all make sure y'all join the fellas on their platform. I'm Uncle Steve here on YouTube on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Please make sure y'all join me. Y'all can also check me out in Atlanta Bird Gang on Facebook. Thank y'all, gentlemen. Appreciate y'all. All y'all have a great Sunday, and we will holler at y'all later on, man. Peace.